I'm doing this video for the Indian youth who are angry, confused, without any hope for the future. I can relate to it because in 1983, when I left for the United States, I was pretty much in the state of the Indian youth. There was no future for me in India. But I came back here. I'm still living in the United States, but I decided to come and spend a lot of time in India in order to give a model for the Indian youth. It's not that India is all that bad with all the corruptions around, which is a reality. But in spite of all that, there is hope, immense hope. Even the population, which is more than 1 billion, there is hope, because population has to be looked at from a different point of view, because we have human beings, 1 billion and more human beings occupying this part of the world. Their consciousness is a capital, which I call the soul capital. It has not been properly utilized. It's not the mind capital, it's not the skills capital, it's not the technology capital. It is the soul capital, and that is going to play a vital role in changing the environment. We have proof for this. My own formal guru, Mahesh Yogi, proved this in Washington, D.C., when he, with the police department, started a program to bring down crime in Washington, D.C. by 25%, and by making a few thousand people to meditate in Washington, D.C., and it did influence the environment. So the environment and the human beings are tied together. You can influence the environment. By environment, I mean the political as well as financial or other areas too. The soul, the human soul, can change everything, provided if it is given some training and awakening. And that is a model that is going to work. When I was reflecting on this, I happened to be in a resort in Swami Malai, where I, on the dining table was Macaulay's presentation. Every but you can read that, the statement by Macaulay. Lord Macaulay went and made a presentation to the British government. We should leave the Indians alone, their religious and cultural tradition. We will be doing a lot of damage if we try to impose our ideas on them, our culture on them. And looking back, after nearly a couple of 100 years, Macaulay was right. The strength for India lies in her understanding of human consciousness. And human consciousness creates everything. If you are poor, it is because of your consciousness. If you are rich, it is because of your consciousness. So consciousness is everything. Consciousness creates everything. And then you can change your consciousness through practices that I have now come to call as phonemic intelligence. Phonemes are certain sounds that we use in this program that can change the consciousness of the person who is using it. There are phonemes that can create wealth. Phonemes can create loving relationship. Phonemes can create everything. They can affect parts of the brain that are associated with memory, with love, with comprehension, with non-physical intelligence. So this is the knowledge that has come down to us from the rishis of ancient India. So only by going back to the roots can India and the Indian youth can have a real future. By looking at what is going on in this world they are living in India, it's horrible. I can understand that. It's not going to work. But how it is going to work? It is going to work by only referring back to your roots, your own soul capital. You can be successful. This is what I am trying to do. And here I have a person who has been with me for how many years now? 10?
13.
13? 13 years. How old are you now?
26.
He is 26, and then he was a student at SRM University. After he graduated, then he went and took a very lucrative job with L&T, but he was not happy for many reasons, that he wanted to make a difference in his life, personal life, as well as difference in the world, and particularly in the lives of the youth in this country. So he resigned his job, and then he is now teaching my philosophy. And when he resigned it, and people were wondering why would anybody quit a job from, in a company like L&T. It's a multi-billion-dollar company, I suppose. The lesson that the youth have to learn from him is, if you have a cause, then nothing matters. That doesn't mean that you have to compromise on your finances. Because when I hired him, I told him that I don't want you to go down financially, so I will pay you more than what you are getting paid from L&T. So that's my philosophy, because sheer idealism is not going to work. And now I'm going to ask him a few questions that will be helpful for the youth to get certain perspectives of commitment, and how that commitment can lead you to success. So when you resigned from L&T, of course, you know, the people around you were telling that it was not the right thing to do. But what really motivated you to resign?
One thing was that I was working in a job which I really did not like.
Okay.
And I really could not see myself in that job 5 years or 6 years down the road. But what really motivated me was that I really wanted to do something to remove poverty in India. I was always wanted, even when I was 14 or 15, I would take my pocket money and buy food for the poor. So when I saw your technique, phonemic intelligence, as a solution for poverty, that's the only reason why I quit.
That's great to know, because I did not know that was the motivating factor. In fact, that is the core of my mm, mm, core teaching of the program that I have developed, the phonemic intelligence. That poverty is the disease of the mind or the disease of the brain. The brain doesn't work properly. The brain or the mind is focusing on negativity. There are parts of the brain that do the job. Again and again, you are locked into that state of mind. And of course, the environment kicks in and then gives feedback to that and supports that. But the brain can elect to work differently in a positive way. It is not by just behavioral modification. It is by changing the very anatomy of the brain, the functionality of certain parts of the brain, like the frontal lobe and the neocortex, and they're dependent on logic. So phonemic intelligence can alter these things and put positivity in the brain. And we have had great success in introducing phonemic intelligence in the West. Government schools in New York, San Francisco, Detroit have programs on phonemic intelligence. I have been trying to introduce it in India, but we are not able to break through the bureaucracy yet. But then we are very successful in introducing it through our nonprofit. You know, we have about 100 centers where we are able to change the consciousness of nearly about 20,000 people or so in countries like India and Mexico. Within a few weeks, we see the change occurring. The only way that I see that we can transform India is transforming the way the brain functions by suppressing the negativity that originates within the brain, the hopelessness that originates in the brain, the frustration that originates in the brain. So don't blame it on politicians, on the economists, or the poverty around. You know, it's all up here. When Sunny resigned his job, he had no fear, and he knew that he will succeed, and he is succeeding. And that comes from changes that take place within the brain. So we have to trace every behavior that we have, the thoughts we have, to the brain. And I hope to do more videos that will inspire people to create a future India that can ensure happiness to all her citizens. God bless.